Hi everybody, welcome to Amy Nolte Music. Good to see you on a Wednesday afternoon. Hey everybody who's saying hello, I'm so glad you're all tuning in, and I really want to tell you about the exciting thing that happened to me a couple of days ago. I was going to tell you yesterday, but I felt like my energy was all zapped from it. But today I've got a little bit of energy back, so it's time to tell the story. I hope you're all doing well. I'm doing well, getting ready for the holidays. My kids are coming home. Yeah, easy setup today, just going live on YouTube with my phone and a little microphone that is really old school now, but works fine, I think. I don't know if you guys follow him, but I do. I follow Bobby McFerrin. I followed him for as long as since I was about 14. I've been tried to be aware of him, where he's at, what he's doing, like a stalker, a little bit. What he's recording, what he's up to. Because when I was 14, I got to go to the Columbia Jazz Festival in Sonora, California with my jazz choir. And we had this private clinic all just for us. There were like, 16 of us in the choir. And Bobby McFerrin came. It was probably 1992. And he was at that festival with his group Voicestra. And they were doing new things at that point. And I had watched a clinic with them just, hours before that. And it blew my mind. 9 members on the stage and Bobby. And all that happened was that Bobby would start singing a little idea, kind of like the one that I started with right now. He just whatever came into his head, right? Just anything. It's exactly how I started today. Just a little idea came into my head and I started singing it. And then he'd go over to about 3 people in the group and he taught it to them. And they learned it real quick. They'd start singing it, and then they kept singing it over and over and over and over again. And then he'd go to the next 3 people, and he would teach them something that went along with the other thing. Maybe harmonized, maybe a counter melody, maybe something that soared over the top of it. Then the next 3 people, and then the audience. He would have everybody singing something that repeated and repeated and repeated. And then he would get on the microphone and start to improvise over the top of it. And that excited me. A brand new song happened right there on the spot from something that just popped into his head. He taught it to everybody. Everybody in the room was on the same page. And he just flew over the top of it. When we did the clinic with my choir, he taught us to do this. And he told us that it was something he's been working on called circle singing. Something he started developing maybe just a year or 2 ahead of that. At that point, maybe, I don't know when he exactly started, 89, 90, something like that, with a group of people that replied to an ad that he posted in the Bay Area And they all came together and they started doing this circle singing together. He taught us to do it. He gave everybody in our group a little part to sing. Everybody sang. We're all floating on top of whatever thing he just created and feeling amazing. And then he stopped us and he said, all right, who would like to try it? And I was a freshman, but I was brave. I raised my hand and he said, all right, go for it. And so I went over to the basses and I taught them a little something that came into my head at that point, and the tenors and the altos, sopranos, whatever. Anyway, it was the most exciting thing. I think my heart was racing, mile a minute, but I created something on the spot and I could do it. I wasn't nearly as good at it as he was, for sure, but I kept that with me, and it taught me something immediately. Just the idea of a circle song taught me that ideas have value, that even something that just pops into your head can be made to be something beautiful, something great. And since then, Bobby McFerrin, Voicestra, all the members of Voicestra, extra members who weren't there at the time that joined later, they have all dove into this. It's almost like a religion, circle singing. They've taken it all over the globe. They've used it as music education to teach it to choirs all over the world, young people all over the world, audiences all over the world, because it's something really exciting and easy that people can just latch onto and do. Back in 2000, I don't know, I've done it twice. I want to say 2004, and then again in 2008 or 9, I took a circle singing kind of class from a singer that was an original member of Voicestra named Rhiannon, and I got to learn even more how to do it, and even more what Bobby had brought to their experience. That was so cool. I went and took a private lesson once from Roger Treese, who was also another member of Voicestra, and he taught me all about how he puts circle songs together. It's very exciting to me. I like it a lot. And I've tried through my whole career to just take this idea of a little thing that can become a big thing and put it into my music, into my improvising. I don't know how successful I've been, but I always practice it, and I'm always thinking about it, and I'm always very excited by Bobby McFerrin, because, after that experience when I was 14, he came back again when I was 16 or something, and we got to see him again and experience a ton of more cool crap. And then I bought albums. The first album I bought was Medicine Man. Oh my gosh. I don't know if you've ever heard it. Some of the tracks on Medicine Man, they just blew me away. Man. Okay, so there's that. Then I started buying more albums. Then when file sharing came around in, like 2000, 1999, something like that, I had Napster. I got everything I could of Bobby McFerrin, and for the first time I heard his performance of Blackbird. I don't know if you guys know it, but it's astounding. He sings the melody of Blackbird by the Beatles, but he creates all of the other harmony at the same time as he's singing the melody. If I play a clip now, my video gets demonetized. So in my humble way, I'll show you a little bit what he did. It was like he picked a bass note, and then Blackbird singing in the dead of night. He creates a little groove, and then he goes, take these. Oh no, that's too low. I made it too low. But you know what I'm talking about? I'm going to raise it a second. Blackbird singing in the dead of night. Take these broken wings and learn to fly all your life. Anyway, creating all of the harmony, this bass underneath his melody. He's the same person, and he did it all. Every note exactly in tune, with the accuracy of a dang piano. But I just didn't know that it was possible until I heard that record. Well, I had heard him in real life. I had an idea about his accuracy. But after that, just the world's just opened up to me. Everything was just like, oh my gosh, there are possibilities out here nobody else is exploring. And I don't know, man. It just floored me. So I've, like I've said, followed him the best I can to figure out what he's doing, what he's up to, what's he creating, who's he doing stuff with. I bought all his albums and learned everything. And recently, he's had health challenges. I don't know, maybe for the past 10 years he's had health challenges. And it seems to me they are getting, I don't know, maybe worse. He's getting older. He's only 71. But I saw that he started to do a thing. First of all, he moved to the West Coast. Then, just on his social media, there started to be a little ad that on Mondays at noon, he was going to have a class or a workshop, clinic, I'm not sure exactly. Circle singing workshop in Berkeley for an hour and a half on Mondays for $35 for anybody who wants to come. And I've seen him a few times over the years, and I'll tell you about it just a little bit. Whenever I go to a concert of Bobby McFerrin, secretly in my heart, I'm hoping that he asks for people to come up on the stage and that they can sing with him. And he does that in his concerts. He'll hold out a microphone and say, who would like to sing with me? And I just get like exhilarated when I watch those videos on YouTube of people that have gotten to do that. And so the times that I have gone to see him, I've just got this prayer inside of me that might happen and that I will be really bold and go do it. And then he would see what I can do, and then he'd want me to sing with him for the rest of our lives. I digress. I went to see him a couple times, never happened. It wasn't a concert where he asked anybody to get up on the stage with him. And that's fine, because what he brought was enough for me. Or it was more than enough. But of course, when I see this new ad for a class, I'm older, a little less like a 14-year-old, just a little. And I think, regardless of if he were to call anyone who might get to join him on the stage ever in these classes, I probably need to get there. But Berkeley is about a 6.5-hour drive for me. And it just seems like for an hour and a half on a Monday, maybe it wasn't worth it, but something kept nagging at me. It's been going on for 3 or 4 weeks or something like that. I keep seeing the ads, wondering what it's like there, looking to see if anybody's posting videos of it, but nobody is. I wanted to know how intimate it was. Was it very big? Were a lot of people coming? What was it like? How many people was he on stage with? But I couldn't find any of that out. I asked some of my friends, have you been? What's it like? Should I come? Is it going to be worth my time and my money? But something inside me kept saying, Amy, it's Bobby McFerrin, Mick-a-freaking-Ferrin. And you probably got to go. So anyway, Friday I got some feeling about that. Some like nagging feeling again, like, maybe you ought to do this. So I just looked up on my phone. I mean, it was going to happen in 2 or 3 days, right? On Monday. What are the flight tickets? What are all the flight tickets like? I went to Southwest. I figured that would be my best option. And there was the want to get away rate, $177 each way. I thought, might be doable. If I say this would be my Christmas present, maybe I do it. But then I didn't do anything about it. Anyway, it's nagging me in the back of my head all weekend. And then on Sunday night, John and Louie and I, Louie's the only one left at home, it's just a happy little family of 3. We're doing what we do on a lot of nights of the week, which is to watch the Great British Baking Show. And all the time we're watching the baking show, I'm thinking just a little bit, should I ask them what they think about me taking a day trip up to Berkeley tomorrow to do this? And when it was over, I just said, you guys, I have a crazy thing to say. And I've been wanting to say it, but I'm just going to say it. What would it do to your day tomorrow if I left, if I wasn't here? What, John, what do you have? How's your schedule? Yeah, Bake Off. It's a good show. Louis, what would it do to you? And then I told them why. And then they said, go. John was like, doesn't even have to be your Christmas present. Write it off your taxes. Get out of here. You got to go do this. and I texted Charlie, who's away at college, and I was like, I'm thinking about buying a plane ticket to go do this crazy thing tomorrow. And all he did was just said, all caps, oh my gosh, Mom, go, like that. And so he gave me a little nudge that I needed, and because I'm not a frivolous person, I don't like to go spend a bunch of money. But anyway, I bought the ticket to the thing. First of all, I had to see if there was space in the clinic. There was space in the clinic. Then I thought, I'm going to need to rent a car, reserve a rental car. Got the Southwest ticket, everything at midnight, right when it's turning Monday, from Sunday to Monday. Got the ticket for the morning, had to be at the airport at 7:40. Just went for it. So I went to bed that night thinking, all right, this tiny little idea is about to become a thing tomorrow. Did it. Went up there, didn't bring a coat, because the only thing I didn't check was the weather. It was pouring down rain. I'm not used to that, living here in Southern California, but it was fine. I got to the thing. This is what I told myself. I said, Amy, don't have expectations about this at all. Whatever Bobby McFerrin brings to the table today is just going to be everything. So don't expect anything. Just be there to soak it up. And when I got there, and you had to be vaccinated and you had to wear an N95 mask, which was weird. I hadn't worn one yet. And easier to sing in, I would say, because it comes away from your mouth, you're not, when you suck, you don't get fabric in your mouth. But that was also almost a reason I didn't want to go, because I thought, is Bobby going to be wearing a mask? Am I going to be able to hear him? Like, is this really the time to do it when everybody singing has to be wearing a mask? But again, I go. All right, so I went. And of course, I wanted to wear my mask to protect fragile Bobby. Bobby didn't wear a mask. He and the 3 people that came out to sing with him, I assume, had been very careful and quarantining and whatever, and they were fine on the stage. There's 4 chairs on the stage. There's 5 chairs on the stage. There's an empty chair with a microphone in it. Maybe I'm thinking something, Hold on, John's outside and he wants to come in, but he can see that I'm videoing, so he's like stopping coming in. Oh, I think he's going around back. Okay. We're good. And there's maybe, people are filling in, it's a small theater, and I decided to sit right in the front. No, it wasn't like musical chairs. Could have been. And I sat second row, I think, right toward the middle, and started making friends with the people around me, because the kind of people that follow Bobby McFerrin and come to all of his stuff are really nice people. Singers and, Bay Area, and we're just talking friendly, touchy-feely, hippie kind of people. And they're fun to be with. And he just comes out, and of course, he just gets an idea. Just a little something. Something, And as soon as he latches onto it and starts to sing it over and over again, the audience just sings with him. And they sing the thing that he sings over and over and over again, like that. And then the people next to him start singing, and they're just doing circle songs, which is what I knew would happen. But it's so cool to go to a thing like that and see music being created out of thin air. There's nothing prepared at all, nothing written, nothing planned, and just whatever happens, happens. And it's vulnerable to be in a space like that. You feel the vulnerability, even if you're not on the stage. You can feel how open everybody needs to be. And it's just like, I'll probably say it 5 more times before I quit here, but it's spiritual. It's like it's circle singing. It's just like a religion. And Bobby McFerrin seemed like a sage or a prophet, some kind of deity up there on the stage. He was so honed into what was going on, so in control. I don't know, I can't explain it really, but the whole thing just sank in and touched my heart. And the feeling that everybody has for him in the room, it's like they revere him. So that's extra special. It's like when I went to see Oscar Peterson, and it was the same. Everybody just adores him. So he feels larger than life. It's like that. And it was cool. You could hear people through the masks. It was fine. They weren't muffled on the stage, the 4 of them. We were muffled, which is probably better. And we were just having fun singing. All of a sudden, that song ends. Everybody starts to clap, but Bobby does this. And then everybody changes from clapping to this. Now, one reason why I'm telling you this story is because it happened 2 days ago. This is Wednesday. It happened Monday. And I don't want to forget any of it. And I know that I will if I let some time go by. So I hope that you indulge me in just telling it how it happened, because it might be the last time I get to see him, and I want to remember it all. Maybe the second song, maybe the third song, I'm not sure. Oh, wait, I was talking about this. I didn't know why he didn't want people to clap, but he didn't. And so after the song ended, everybody was like, I know that's how hearing impaired people clap, right? So we did that. And then later on in the clinic, he goes, why do we do this? And people didn't really know. And he said, well, it's because you know how when a song ends or a solo ends and some people shout, some people hoot and holler or whistle, clap louder. It feels like maybe this person gets a huge old round of applause, and then this person just gets and he said, we don't want any of that here. He goes, it's all the same. So that was pretty cool. Anticlimactic, if I'm honest, because sometimes I wanted to erupt in applause, and just sticking my hands up and doing that was like not enough, but that's what we did. Second or third song happened, and the idea came from Bobby, and all I remember was knowing that it was in D minor. Like when somebody sings as perfectly in tune as Bobby does, my perfect pitch goes off the charts. I mean, I don't quite have perfect pitch, but I knew D minor, right? There's just something on these notes was happening, and it was swinging. I can't remember what it was, but maybe it was do da da ba do da, something like that. Do do da 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 do da. And finally, after everybody's going and he's got several parts going on, the audience is singing in harmony, he said, who would like to come up here and take over the 5th microphone? And I shot my hand up because I was prepared to do that. And nobody saw me. They weren't looking at me on the stage. But the lady right behind me tapped me on the shoulder, and she said, just go up. She goes, just go up. So I did. I walked up, and there was already somebody who had gotten on the stage, a man, and I went and sat in a chair right next to the stage with this other woman who came up who also wanted to do it. So I was like 3rd in line. The man got up. He started to improvise. He was having a great time. He did what he did. Then he handed the mic to the next lady. She went up. She improvised, did what she did. It was fun to watch them. And then it was my turn. And I just really tried to just say to myself, yeah, this is exactly what you hoped would happen. It's exactly what you've been hoping would happen to you again for the last, 25 years. But all you got to think about right now is music. So I told myself that. And I started improvising. And it was hard to get the courage to, it was easy to look at the audience. It was harder to look to my left into the eyes of my hero. But I did it just for a little bit, eye contact here and there. And I just sang what was in me. Oh, I did have a little thought. I thought, there are only 5 notes of this minor thing being sung, the first 5 notes. And it gives me license to perhaps make it Dorian if I wanted to, or make it natural minor if I wanted to. And I thought that would be fun to play with. So I did have that in my head. First, I kept it kind of pentatonic, right, in the groove. Something like that, you know. Then I decided, hey, thanks for that. I decided to go for it, Dorian. Look over at Bobby McFerrin. His eyes get big. He nods at me. The other singers on the stage, it's kind of cool. They just I could just kind of tell that they were like, oh, maybe this chick, she knows what she's doing a little bit or something. And then it was like the energy in the room changed somehow, and I got freer. I started doing fun things. I don't remember exactly what, but I remember finding some kind of a something like that. I was doing like a little yodely thing, and it just felt so good. And then Bobby McFerrin started taking my ideas and doing something else with them. He pulled up his mic. He got serious. He started singing his own ideas. It was something high. Something like that, you know? And so I know what I'm supposed to do because I've been following him for so long. And the idea here is motion. The idea is not to get hung up on one thing, but to keep everybody's ideas that are happening within you somehow and use them to propel yourself forward. Anyway, I did my best. I don't know how it went. I don't think there's any record of it either. It just lives right here. So that's why I have to tell it. He let me end the song. He let it end with me, which was cool. We got quieter. I felt it happening until it was time to end. He put his hand up, he cut it off. And everybody. And Bobby said, "What's your name?" And I said, "Amy." And he says, "Thank you for that." And I said, "Thank you for that." And I got out of there. So cool, man. So that was something for me. Like, it would have been worth the money anyway had I not been able to go on stage. I already made up my mind about that, but it did happen. And I'm just like, I'm still on a high from it. I can't tell you how long the adrenaline lasted. It was quite a while, all the way till I got to 7-Eleven and bought a Diet Coke because I was really, really sleepy. I'll tell you a little more about it too, just because I want to remember from the day. But he would let everybody else on stage take a turn making a circle song. And then he would let people in the audience come up and different things throughout the. But I didn't raise my hand again. That's not appropriate, and I knew that, and so I didn't. But a lot of other people got to go have a really cool chance to be on the stage and make music with Bobby McFerrin also, and I got to watch it happen. He led a few more circle songs. One of the coolest things he did, and I do have a video of this, just a tiny one. Maybe I'll put it on my Instagram story later. It was like the sacred experience. You feel like an idiot if you pull your phone out, you know. You feel like. So I just did it like once or twice, just barely on the sly so nobody could see. I wanted to have some record of the experience. So I have these tiny, horrible videos, 2 of them or so. But anyway, he made a circle song in 7. It was in 7. And I don't know that anybody else in the room knew that it was in 7, but I know that they knew that it was hard to feel. And what he would do was on the 7th beat, he would go, woo, like that. So whatever it was, I can't remember, it's something like this. And I remember it also had the syllables like, hoo-soo, something like that. So he's like, hoo-soo, 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 woo, hoo-soo, like that, every 7th, woo. So it gave the audience something to latch onto. And then I don't know, he shut things off, he turned them back on, he'd shut the stage off, just telling his singers to quit singing, let the audience do it. Then he'd tell the audience to quit singing, just let his singers do it, so that we all felt that 7. And he let it go on for like 10 minutes, just teaching people to feel something in an odd meter. And it was beautiful. He never stopped and said, hey, that was in 7. That's maybe something I would have done. He didn't do that. He just let people feel what they felt. Then he said, does anybody have anything they want to say? And some brave soul raised their hand and said, Bobby, could we play around with your song 20, with your Psalm 23? And I knew what that meant. I didn't know how many people in the audience knew what that meant. And he said, play around? And he was like, well, we can do something. And somebody shouted, she should dance. So apparently the girl who said that was a good modern dancer. And he said, why don't you come on the stage and dance, and I'll direct it. Then David Warm, who was next to him, was like Bobby's right-hand man, took out a pitch pipe and he blew an F. And all Bobby did was just hold his hand out to the audience, and he started directing his version of the 23rd Psalm, the Lord is my shepherd. You can hear it. You can hear it in various places, but it is on that first album that I ever had, Medicine Man. It goes something like, the Lord is my shepherd, I have all I need. And it does this through all the words of the Lord is my shepherd, but Bobby changes them a little bit to be what he feels, I guess, from the psalm. And it does that several times. Try to hear what this chord is. Maybe like this. Anyway, he started directing it. The entire audience knew it. Everybody started singing it. And I remembered it. 5-6-part harmony from the audience. Everybody's singing his Psalm 23 arrangement. We all knew it. Everybody took a part. Gorgeous. And this girl was up on stage doing her interpretive dance of it. And it was a really beautiful moment. There's several verses to it, maybe 6 or 7. And everybody knew every word. That's magical. They had all studied his discography enough to be familiar with it. All he had to do was just cut off, start again. Cut off, start again with every single verse. It got finished. It ends with worlds without end. Amen. Everybody on this beautiful F triad. Some basses in the room, singing their low F. Everything's rumbling. You feel it in your heart. And right about as everybody's starting to... Bobby goes, amen, 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 amen. It's the amen chorus, and everybody knows that. Also, so the whole room erupted. Everybody stood up, started singing the amen chorus. And however they wanted to. Bobby has recorded this. I think he recorded it with Esperanza Spalding. I need to go look. But he's got his own version of it too, where he says his own words on his own little riffs in it, you know. I see you guys talking about Bobby, and I'm so glad you guys you get what I'm talking about. If you don't get what I'm talking about, just look it up. It's you'll get it real quick. Bobby's singing the little thing that he wrote over the top of the Amen chorus, whatever it is, just grooving, and oh, it was sweet. Everybody's standing up. Everybody's dancing. Like I say, these free spirits that follow Bobby, they've got no qualms about moving their bodies around. I've got a little bit of qualms about that because I'm me. But Amy's swaying back and forth and clapping and singing, and it was so nice. Oh my gosh. And a few more circle songs, a few more audience participations, and it was over. It was an hour and a half. And maybe there were 100 people in the audience. It was in this venue called Freight and Salvage. It's a small theater that I guess everybody in Berkeley is super acquainted with. Really close to the music school there. And it was beautiful. I just can't say enough about what that experience did for me. All of it. And when it was done, nobody wanted to leave. He left the stage. His singers stayed around and talked with everybody a bit. They were really welcoming, and but I will talk a tiny bit about how Bobby looked and appeared. He's probably 6'1", maybe, and very thin. I mean, he's always been thin in shape, you know, but he seemed frail to me, and he just seemed a little bit on another plane, like I said. He's also hilarious. He's hilarious. Had us in stitches. At one point, he walked out to the edge of the stage, and he held out his hand, and somebody in the front row came and took his hand, and he wanted to get off the stage. It's probably a two-foot drop off the stage, maybe 2.5 feet. And after he held the hand, he jumped. He jumped off the stage. That was a cool moment, because even though he's looking a little bit, just a little bit frailer to me, dude jumped off the stage. Yes. I don't know what his health challenges are, but I'll just say that I was glad that I went. And I talked with some of these free spirits in the audience, got to know them, got some business cards handed to me. So many of them are doing their own circle singing groups, and they're just beautiful individuals, giving and loving. I had people tell me that if I ever come back up, I can stay at their house, join their circle singing group. Everybody just wanted to share the love of what they felt. It was so cool. And then when I walked out, I saw Bobby McFerrin standing on the street because he was waiting for a car to pick him up. Just one of the singers that was there that day in his group on the stage. They were going to take him home, and people were around him. It was a strange little group around him, I thought. Just women who were all joking around with him, and they were singing. I don't know how they started. Probably one of them said, he probably said, "Come back on Monday, we'll do it again," you know. And somebody said, "I'll be there." And then they all broke into, "I'll be there," and singing little Motown together on the street. When they were finished, everybody left him, and I just went up and thanked him. I just told him, since I was a kid, I've looked up to you, and you opened all the possibilities in the world to me. And I'll never be able to thank you enough. And I just wanted to say that. And he just goes, "You're welcome." And that was that. I got in my car, drove straight to the 7-Eleven, picked up that Coke Zero, and flew home. It was a rainy day in Berkeley. Really, really magical for me. And I just want to tell you, if you ever have a feeling like that, like it keeps nagging at you, you feel like there's something you're supposed to do that's going to mean something. I'll tell you what, when I was buying that plane ticket, my heart was racing. I I was anxious, and I'm not a very anxious person. It's the most anxiety I can remember feeling in a long time. I don't know why. Probably because I was about to spend a lot of money, leave my family for a day, leave them in the lurch. You know, John had to take Louie to volleyball practice, to school, to back to the school that night for his comedy improv thing that he does. And it's kind of a long trip. And anyway, John didn't get any work done for his law practice on Monday. Maybe hardly any, because he gave that up for me and I felt bad about it. But he's a good man, and he let me go do my thing that day, and I'm better for it. And now I've got the story out there, so if I ever forget what it was like, I can come back and listen to it. And I know somebody's been asking, what's the thing that I sang today at the beginning? It was just a little idea that I made up. That's it. Just a little something floating around the room that I grabbed onto and sang for you guys. That's all. That's what he has built the last, how many? Almost 30 years, probably 30 years doing. Taking these little ideas out of the ether, throwing them out into the world and seeing what comes of it. He's an amazing man. I'm so grateful for the path that he set me on when I was 14, the path of possibility. And I'll never get off of it. Thanks, everybody. See you next time on Amy Nolte Music.